New Orleans and putting them all in one place, that residual energy embedded in acts like a bridge. If they want to come back, for none of them are forced to come back. If they want to come break bread, if they have something to say to fix their story, if they want to communicate, this is their place too. And I think it's important because the stories are some are written down, some are being seriously altered by new people, that come to town, and the internet, which quickly changes folklore, makes up some new things about our town that was never talked about. I'm trying to weed those out and maintain and preserve some of New Orleans that I hope won't get lost with this major transition in our history.
Well, one of the things that I noticed when you and I were speaking about Katrina, I was there about 2 weeks before, and then when I came back after, the energy was so different.
How long after did you come back? Do you know?
I came back about 6 weeks after.
A
month to 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, well, 3 years it was bad. It was worse probably 1 year after. That was a different kind of anger that was growing up here. Plus, there was a nothingness. We were flatlined.
Yes.
The energy had just kind of went, it was just not recognizable as the same city.
No.
It was to look at. I don't want people to think because it was devastated by hurricane. That's not what I'm talking about. The French Quarter didn't change one iota as far as architecture is concerned. And that's what most of the people see because they don't leave and go to the suburbs. I do. But 80% of the people that come here don't.
No.
So they wouldn't have noticed the physical difference in the French Quarter. But everything else was just totally different. And it lasted a really long time. It became my full-time job to revive the energy and, again, what I call the spirit of place. It was that she was kidnapped or hiding out and had to pump her back up to get her back in. Plus, I believe that the spirits were gone. Many of them evacuated with their families, and they're the ones that watch over the town that I was talking about, the town that they built. And without them, we were in serious jeopardy because the dark side ran free. And trust me, New Orleans has her dark side.
Yes, she does. And, it's so amazing because, especially around Jackson Square and going down Magazine Street and all these little nook and cranny places, everything was different.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, it was really bizarre feeling because I'm used to the fun and the camaraderie around the square and all through the quarter because it's just it's a place that resonates with me. Always has, always will. And all of the positive energies through there, they were just gone.
I remember I had a tour with about 10 people and it seems like 6 of them had been in New Orleans before, or 7 of them, and 2 of them hadn't, and one I don't remember. And they were looking around, and the woman was just like, I don't know what everybody sees in New Orleans. Why they're always talking about it. Everything's all shut down and closed off.
Oh, my gosh.
And all of us turned around at the same time and said, that's what's different. You would have looked at these same places last time and went, wow, look at the energy here. Can you feel that? Oh, my God, I don't know what it is about New Orleans. I've been there before. I said, that's the difference. Because they just looked at the same thing, looking the same way, and just said, ooh, everything's so foreboding, dark. Yeah. And we all attacked. That's what's different.
Well, you know what? But I mean, if you hadn't been there before, and that was your first time.
Right.
Then you might have felt that way. The group. Yeah.
Right. But she's like, I don't get what everybody likes about this place. Always looking over your shoulder like, yeah, and that's different too.
That is, yes. But that did exist.
Creepy.
That did exist. It was. And
really creepy, not what you're told is creepy.
No. I mean, it was a void with dark. And it was very odd.
Yeah, it was not nice. It was hard, and something was big and something was watching.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what I fought for 3 years, and that's a whole book.
Yeah.
But so we can't go there. But I do have books.
Well, let me tell you that I'm going to take this 3-minute break and go ahead and get this done so that we can just go right on through and
Okay.
break slay me when we're in the middle of wonderful things. But we'll be right back. 3 minutes, folks. Maybe.
So is this when you're going to call her?
Well, you said.
You are listening to WPHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk radio.
And just like that, we are back. Thank y'all for being here tonight as we get to enjoy Bloody Mary, Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. And Ronald says cheers from Canada, Mary.
Cheerio.
And Brenda has some questions. And she wanted to know, have you done investigations in other cities? And what got you started actually working within the paranormal field?
The ghosts did. As I said, my entire life they came waking me up. So, people might have a limited definition of what the paranormal field is today, but I don't think it's any different than the spiritual work that I do because it's all combined.
Right.
So it's always, I've always went to the ghost places in New Orleans since I was a kid. It was my favorite thing to go. The haunted houses, the cemeteries. I've always had a rapport with the spirits in one form or another and noticed things, taught what I've noticed, examined what I noticed, went to people to expand on what I know. So really, since I was a kid, I remember paranormal investigation classes starting in colleges in the 1970s. And then I thought that was really cool back then. And in high school, I went to the abandoned sanitarium across the river, and across the lake, and we'd go do connections in there. I mean, we didn't have all the equipment, but most people didn't have a lot of equipment when they went do paranormal investigations. And one of the best equipment was always a psychic and your own energies. I am an advocate also for saying that you are your best paranormal instrument. You've got to fine tune what you've got. Because
True.
one day all your batteries are going to go down and you're left with just yourself. So you better learn how to use it. And, so I've always, I guess, been part of the paranormal that way. I've been considered the person to go to in this town since I started, which I thought was really strange when I started. Like, why am I always the one come to? It's just the way spirit led it. So that's been for over 24 years. I've been on TV long, long before paranormal became as popular as it is today.
Right.
I've done hundreds and hundreds of documentaries and history that play all over the world about the specific haunted houses and haunted places here, the culture of New Orleans, culture of voodoo. So I do, and I created what I call Voodoo Paranormal, which is in simplicity, it is a combination of old school and new school, and the respect that I give to the spirit. So I guess it's been at least 25 years full time that I've been paid as a paranormal investigator, if that's what you count as entering the paranormal field. But I guess I've always been there. And yes, whenever I travel, the first thing I do is go to the oldest graveyard, stay on a B&B that I could just tell by the name in the phone book which one's going to be haunted, or by the ones that I find out from people, go here, go there. I listen to the spirit, but I always try to go to the cemeteries and thank the ancestors for building the town and let them know I'm there. Even on my evacuation for Katrina, I was in a little town known as Jefferson, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of an accident that I went there because I'd heard it was haunted. I was going to go there anyway. I was planning on going there that weekend, and then I wasn't going to go because I got busy. And then Katrina came, so I ended up going. It was ironic that I'd already planned for that place for that weekend. And then I kind of worked with one of the little ladies there that has a ghost tour and did all the little places that were going on and ran into some strange spirit things there. We stayed in a haunted place, the only place in town, and it had a lot of the stained glass windows and wood that was imported from New Orleans, and that was like my bedroom. So these things were spirit-led and always have been. But I've gone and done an entire paranormal European investigation on more than once, and so everywhere I go, I incorporate the paranormal or the spiritual. I guess I prefer to say the supernatural.
Yes,
wherever
it is
I go.
supernatural.
Because the supernatural brings in a spiritual element, not just a scientific, and everywhere. So yes, I've gone to hundreds of cities and places and done paranormal investigations, supernatural connections, etc.
Etc., etc. Well, one of the pictures that I used in your video was your shot from the catacombs in Paris, which is one of the places I would love to experience. How did
I
that
didn't
feel
find
to
the
you?
catacomb not at all haunted. Not at all. I was shocked.
Really?
It was pretty flatlined. Yep. I did not. I know people are like, oh, you go in there, it's all this and that. It wasn't. I don't know. It was just really quiet that day or what was going on. Now, there are hundreds of other places I went to in Paris that were crazy, tons in Italy. And there were some living ones in the catacombs in Sicily. But I just found, and other parts of Italy, but I found the catacombs in France to not be as haunted. Montmartre Cemetery was haunted. Other places like that. I don't know if it's just a bad day that I went or what, but no. However, Notre Dame, the cathedral, nearly knocked me on my knees with the intensity of spirit there. Oh God, I was like, bah. So many places remembered me. I ran into a past life ghost there, but that's a whole other show. So there,
I'll hold you to that.
I've had spirits, lots of spirit activity in Paris. It's the first time I went, and I was at 1976. I had spirit. I stayed in a haunted hotel that time, which was pretty intense. So, yes, it follows you wherever you go, or you follow it, or whatever the case may be. But wherever I travel, absolutely.
Well, thank you for answering that, because she was very interested in that answer. And she actually said, yeah, heard of Jefferson, Texas. But
that was like an accidental fluke. I was just saying, even my Katrina evacuation was a paranormal investigation. I was trying to make the best of it. I was like, okay, where we go?
Gotta go, yeah. At
least
you went
west. Be here. Let's do this.
Yes.
Well, we went, then we came back, and then we went to Florida, and then we came back, and then we went north, and then we came back. Like, we were all over the grid, and yeah, that's pretty much what I did. Stayed at a haunted house